That's right, it's time for round 3. Today we're going to be talking about more My Life as a Teenage Robot Easter eggs and references. These Easter eggs were submitted on our Discord server, and we'll be crediting the people who submitted them as we go. Let's get started. It seems like the wonderful world of Wisley has yet more references to be uncovered. As in one particular scene where the animatronic dinosaurs smash through a sign that has Park on it. This is most certainly a reference to Jurassic Park, which wouldn't be far-fetched as we've mentioned in the previous part. We mentioned how the episode itself had tons of references throughout its entire runtime. During the episode Unlicensed Flying Object, just as Brad and Tuck had discovered an alien ship, Tuck had expressed how he didn't want to go inside the ship to avoid getting in trouble, and Brad responded by saying,
"That's cool, you wait out here with all the lions and tigers and bears."
Tuck had followed up with,
"Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my."
Which both made a reference to the 1939 musical fantasy film, The Wizard of Oz.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
If you've watched My Life as a Teenage Robot before, it's more than certain you might have not missed this reference. Pajama Party Prankapalooza has a very short but sweet reference to the show itself, as while Jenny opens her locker, you can hear her humming the main theme of the show. Toying with Jenny was a pretty creepy episode. Something else that makes it creepier? A reference to a horror film, of course. As Tuck goes to pick up his Action Jenny doll, he finds out that there are no batteries inside of it to allow it to function, before the doll spins its head around to face Tuck. This is a reference to the 1988 horror film Child's Play. We've seen tons of sci-fi references scattered about in My Life as a Teenage Robot, but there's only more to be uncovered. While we see Sheldon sneaking into the Wakeman residence during Designing Women, one of the traps that activates is a bunch of weird small squeaky objects falling on top of Sheldon. These small squeaky objects are actually an Easter egg referring to the Trouble with Tribbles from Star Trek. The episode Robot Riot, mainly the robots fighting in the episode, can be referred to as the actual 2000s BattleBots competitions. It definitely shines more light on the Easter egg, as we can see the robots being piloted by people until Jenny shows up to fight for Tuck. After Jenny was nearly destroyed by Armageddroid and being rushed back to Nora Wakeman from Brad and Tuck in parts and pieces, Jenny quickly says the phrase,
Happy birthday!
as she's brought back together. This is actually a reference to the 1969 television special Frosty the Snowman, as whenever Frosty is brought to life, he says his signature phrase,
Happy birthday!
During the episode Victim of Fashion, Jenny wants everything taken out of her body to look entirely slim in order to impress her fellow high school students in a bout of fashion against the Crust Cousins. While Sheldon is performing the operation to take her parts out, there's a scene where he attempts to pull out a bone but hits the side of the casing and sends an electric shock while Jenny gains a glowing blue nose. This is a reference to the classic 1965 board game, Operation. If you've watched the 3rd season of My Life as a Teenage Robot, then you may remember those weird green aliens that appeared in the episode Stage Fright. The aliens themselves resemble the aliens from the 1957 sci-fi horror film Invasion of the Saucer Men. Giant green heads, outstretched fingers, and long nostrils. Yep, that checks out. In the 2nd season of My Life as a Teenage Robot, there's an episode called Teen Time, which is already a nod to Teen Titans, as we're introduced to the Teen Team. The team itself consists of 3 characters who resemble characters from Teen Titans as a nod itself. Misty, who resembles Jinx, Orion, who resembles Cyborg, and finally, the stupendous Squish, who resembles Beast Boy. Though Squish gives us yet another Easter egg in the episode's runtime, as he shapeshifts into an octopus that's very reminiscent to the plush octopus Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls has. Judging how Rob Renzetti has worked on the Powerpuff Girls before, it wouldn't be coincidence. A small and light reference actually comes from a single line that Brad says during Bradventure, As he's caught by Dr. Locust, he thinks about breaking out and asks himself,
WWJD, what would Jenny do?
which is a small nod to the phrase, what would Jesus do? As Sheldon was made much older in the episode Good Old Sheldon, and near the end of the episode's runtime, they were trying to revert him back to his normal teenage self. However, because of Jenny becoming distracted and moving quickly, he was reverted back to a kid at some point. The way he looks is similar to Detective Conan's Shinichi Kudo after he was de-aged from a special drug named APTX 4869. A small but neat reference actually comes from title cards of the episodes from the show this time. The Season 3 episode No Harmony with Melody has a title card that directly references the classic film series Looney Tunes. We've got one last reference for you today. Near the end of the Season 1 episode Hostile Makeover, as a new, large, and horrific Jenny is taken down, a small robot causing her changes burst right out of her stomach. This is a reference to the iconic chestburster scene from the 1979 horror sci-fi film Alien. There's an unbelievable amount of references in My Life as a Teenage Robot. It's also really hard to detect them without also knowing what it's referencing. There's always going to be a few that we miss, but please feel free to let us know about any Easter eggs we may have missed in the comments below. We won't be doing many more of these videos, but I'd like to cover as much ground as possible. I've been your narrator, Andre. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a rating. If you want to reach us, leave a comment. Or check out our other platforms. Links are in the description.
Cat and his ugly friends, I'll get them at their school, and I'll get them good. It's time for Dirty Dog to rule the world! Howl! And I'm gonna get you too.